Pesticides used in rural Nebraska could be the cause of an increased number of Parkinson cases. I'm Zachary Padilla.
And I'm Tiara Charay. A dangerous party trick results in a local man being taken well before his time and a mother grieving the loss of her only son.
Omaha primary election results and other action-packed stories from around the metro area, right here on the Omaha News. Don't go anywhere, you're right where you need to be.
From the studios of UNO Television, this is the Omaha News, presented by UNO School of Communication.
President Trump proposed to eliminate $1.2 billion in grants for after-school programs. Reporter Alejandra Cortez shows us how local organizations are pushing back, saying the services they offer are worth the government funding they receive.
The Trump administration has proposed to defund after-school programs after deeming them ineffective.
They're supposed to be educational programs, right? And that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to help kids who don't get fed at home get fed so they do better in school. Guess what? There's no demonstrable evidence they're actually doing that.
Collective for Youth is a local organization that coordinates funds to out-of-school programs. Executive Director Megan Addison says these budget cuts would significantly impact the way these programs operate.
We manage about $1.5 million that are passed down from the federal government to our state to run these programs. It's about a third of the budget of the program. So, well, as I said before, we touch about 6,500 kids a year.
Addison says federal funds are distributed accordingly to out-of-school organizations like Completely Kids, a program which aims to assist at-risk youth while they're away from the classroom.
A lot of our youth, they're coming well below the poverty level, and so we are making sure that those kids are fed. Some of them wouldn't know where their next meal comes from if it weren't for after-school providers.
Completely Kids says that organizations like these have a direct and lasting impact on low-income families.
So it helps to increase math and reading scores. That's what our annual report shows every year, that it helps with behavioral and emotional skills, and so it's very needed.
For the Omaha News, I am Alejandra Cortez.
Completely Kids says it will do everything it can to improve the education and well-being of children despite the budget cuts.
And now a recap of yesterday's primary election in the city of Omaha. In District 1, Pete Festerson and Paul Anderson made it through the general election with 76% and 15% respectively.
In District 2, Ben Gray came out on top with 49% of the vote, while Dennis Womack received 14%.
District 3 saw Chris Jerem receive 67% of the vote, while competitor Deshaun Cunningham followed with 11%.
District 4 was a much tighter race, with Vinnie Palermo taking the lead over Jim Rogers, 38% to 36%.
In District 5, Rich Pauls, the only candidate for the district, will move on to the general election with 95% of the vote. In
District 6, Brinker Harding and Dwight Peterson will advance with 57% and 42% respectively.
Finally, in District 7, Amy Melton and Brian Thomas will stick around for the general election with 68% and 31% of the vote.
In the mayoral race, incumbent Mayor Gene Stothert walks away with a marginal win against Democrat Heath Mello. Stothert received 44% of the vote to Mello's 41%. Republican Taylor Royal will not continue on to the general election. The political newcomer received just 11% of the vote.
Facebook announced plans this week to build a massive data storage facility south of Papillion. This is the second facility of its kind built in the Midwest after Facebook built a $300 million data center in Altoona, Iowa in 2015. The announcement was made in a Papillion town hall meeting where Facebook executives, Governor Pete Ricketts, and Papillion Mayor David Black were in attendance. The project has been on the books for some time, referred to only by the code name Project Raven. The Omaha World Herald reports the data center campus will take up more than 140 acres near Cape Hart Road at Nebraska Highway 50. The company said in the town hall that the campus itself will total almost 1 million square feet. A news release from the governor's office said that the project could be completed by 2020.
There has been a drastic change in what makes retail businesses successful. Online shopping has affected malls and retail stores. Reporter Colt Paulson finds that this trend could be driven by millennials wanting more uniqueness and convenience when they shop.
The retail market has seen better days. In the first 3 months of 2017, 9 retailers have filed for bankruptcy, including Gordman's, whose headquarters are here in Omaha. In today's society, consumers want convenience and uniqueness when shopping, and the oversupply of retail businesses isn't cutting it anymore.
I think convenience is the way to go.
Brandy Vincent sells LuLaRoe clothing from her Beautiful boutique out of her home. She is one of over 50,000 consultants selling brightly colored shirts, leggings, and dresses, which are not available online.
It is social media selling, so you can sell on Instagram, Facebook, or in-home sales.
While LuLaRoe parties are the most successful, offering socialization while women shop, social media tools like Facebook Live are an easy way to connect with consumers instantly and sell items online.
And the cool thing is that nobody has the same inventory because they only make 1,000 of each piece.
Though purchasing products online is the most popular, consumers enjoy a unique shopping experience like this mobile boutique, Hello Ruby.
It's just different and it's unique, and I think that's the fun thing is people will be talking about it.
There are around 300 mobile boutiques across the United States, and Hello Ruby is the first in Omaha. The truck will always be on the move, parking at different locations in Omaha like Dundee and downtown.
Obviously, being mobile, I can go to people's houses, I can go to be at different events, partner with different boutiques even.
Though Hello Ruby just launched, that isn't stopping owner Jill Dazinski from coming up with new ideas like opening an online store and even a subscription-based service.
Once a month, I come to your house and you pick out an outfit and I can help style. So there's a lot of different things that I can do.
For the Omaha News, I'm Colt Paulson.
Many brick and mortar retailers have filed bankruptcy in the last year, and retail avenues like boutique clothing trucks and enhanced online shopping may continue to aid this downward trend.
After filing bankruptcy early last month and laying off hundreds of employees several weeks ago, Gordman's has announced it will close all but one of its retail locations in the Omaha area. According to the Omaha World Herald, the department store chain filed papers in court which listed 48 stores that will be closing, leaving somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 total stores in operation. The Iowa Lake Manawa Center location will be the remaining location in the area, with the stores such as Lakeside Hills, Evans Plaza, 144th Center, and West Maple Road, Bellevue, and Papillion slated for closure.
With such accessible information from around the world, many people are very plugged in to national and world news. But what's happening right here in your neighborhood is also important.
That's why the Omaha News is putting on a special State of the City program on April 12th.
Tune in at 4 p.m. on April 12th for an in-depth look at the mayor's race, development of entertainment districts, airport growth, and much, much more. You don't want to miss this. After the break, one Nebraska researcher may be onto something in the battle against the Zika virus, a new development that could help reduce disease-carrying mosquito populations.
And Stay in Your Ground laws could be coming to Iowa. Stay with us.
I have no idea where I'm at right now. I just really need some help.
Do you need some help?
Yeah.
Okay. Library is here.
I heard the word help. Yeah.
Student ambassadors are here to give a helping hand to anyone on campus. We're also your one-stop stop for tours of UNO's campuses and providing new student orientation so you can register for classes. Find us in the Welcome Center located next to the Weber Fine Arts Building.
The UNO TV team teaches students the skills they need to take professional jobs in the Omaha community. Through paid positions, students build their skills in lighting, audio, camera work, other essential control room operations. Programs air locally on TKN and statewide on NHE World. UNO Television, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
The Library Cafe at UNO's Chris Library is the ideal spot to stop in and grab a bite to eat. Order a hot cup of coffee or other drinks. Chat with friends or study.
This is the Omaha News.
When it comes to Parkinson's disease, Nebraska has the highest number of patients per capita, a statistic that is alarming, and doctors say the causes of this statistic are complex.
It's affected me financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually. In every aspect of my life.
Joe Schulte has Parkinson's disease,
Since 1998.
which is currently incurable.
Parkinson's is a thief. It steals from you a little bit at a time.
That thief affects the lives of more Nebraskans per capita than any other part of the world.
Parkinson's disease is really complex, and what causes it is a mixed bag.
One that researchers are only beginning to figure out.
There's a genetic predisposition that we have for Parkinson's disease. We know families that half the people will have Parkinson's disease.
But genetics only account for a very small number of cases.
Our majority of people, more 95% or so, are getting Parkinson's disease due to interaction with the environment.
I grew up on a farm, and that seems to be higher risk here in Nebraska.
A group of students recently tried to determine a link between chemicals used in farming and Parkinson's prevalence here in the Cornhusker State.
What they found was that the two regions of Nebraska which has the most intense exposure to pesticide and insecticide are the two regions with the most density of Parkinson's disease.
While doctors are still unsure of the cause of Parkinson's,
We don't have a good unified explanation yet.
they are working to slow the symptoms
The stiffness and the aches and the pain.
and are remaining hopeful.
We're not going to give up.
April is Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month, a great time to learn about the disease's symptoms and risk factors.
A party over the weekend in North Omaha home ended in tragedy when one local man was shot in a Russian roulette-style game. Omaha police were called to 2701 Camden Ave at 5:49 Sunday on report of shots fired in the area. Recent Abraham Lincoln High School graduate Scott Evans was found dead at the scene. He was 20 years old. Two were arrested Tuesday morning in the connection with the shooting. 18-year-old Montana Garbez and 19-year-old Serenity Gayton were both booked on felony charges.
The Republican-majority Iowa Senate approved a bill this week that proposes major adjustments to gun laws in the state. The most notable adjustment, a stand your ground provision. Stand your ground, sometimes called line in the sand or no duty to retreat, basically says someone can defend him or herself without retreating in self-defense situations. This means Iowans would now be able to use deadly force whenever or wherever they feel such force would be necessary to protect their safety. The bill was approved in a 33-17 vote by the legislators. Another major aspect of the bill is a motion to allow citizens to sue municipal governments for enacting gun-free zones. Critics of stand your ground laws call it getting away with murder, but supporters in Iowa call this bill a major step in honoring Second Amendment rights.
A study that is meant to help stop pesky mosquitoes from spreading diseases is in the works. Reporter Gloria Espejel takes us inside the story where local research is making big strides.
UNMC's Associate Professor of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Corey Hopkins, joins Dr. Denon and Peter Marini from Ohio State on a project that targets a mosquito's ability to urinate.
So what happens when a mosquito bites an individual? It takes in a significant amount of liquid and it has to excrete in order to sort of maintain that balance. So if they cannot excrete, So if we shut that kidney function down, they actually will bloat significantly, rendering them either flightless or will cause death.
As a chemist, Dr. Hopkins creates a compound, which then goes to Dr. Denon, who tests the compound. Compounds at work go on to Dr. Marini for testing on mosquitoes themselves. So far, the compound has worked on 2 separate disease-borne mosquitoes.
The Anopheles gambia and the Aedes aegypti. The Aedes aegypti is the mosquito that carries Zika. It also carries dengue and chikungunya, other viruses that impact a significant amount of people.
There is no saying how long the study will go for, since there is constant testing involved.
Over the next year or two, we're going to be looking to refine the molecule that we've found so far, potentially to find a better compound, but we'll also be looking at that compound in a broader context of species selectivity, insect selectivity.
For the Omaha News, I'm Gloria Espejel.
The study started 5 years ago and is still in progress. It has been proven to be safe for mammals and humans.
Coming up, a new hockey coach at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, and how the university hired from within after Coach Dean Blaze retired.
And the University of Nebraska at Omaha student section earns a national honor. We'll be right back.
Watch ICU Learning English on the Knowledge Network.
Create, innovate, discover. Coneco UNO Library, where scholar meets creative. Located in downtown Omaha, Coneco Library is designed to bridge education and creation. For students and community members alike, both loud in expression and quiet in nature, encouraging forward thinkers to collaborate in a beautiful space of creative scholarly consciousness. Coneco UNO Library, open space for your mind where momentum is accomplished.
Just feel a sense of camaraderie with fellow veterans, whether they're young, old, from different branches. Students are able to exchange their military history and also feel a sense of community here on campus, as well as we do have a quiet study area and a computer lounge with free printing, and as well as free coffee, thing for people. But for vets, it's pretty important just to come in here and just stop by, say hello.
The Creative Production Lab is a space for students to express themselves through artistic creation. Whether they want to do something visual, such as using the 3D printer or laser cutter, or if they want to create an audio project in the Whisper Room, the options are endless within the Creative Production Lab.
This is the Omaha News.
Omaha Hockey's Mike Gabinet has been named the new coach for UNO Hockey. This comes just weeks after head coach Dean Blaze announced his retirement after 8 seasons in Omaha. UNO Vice Chancellor of Athletics, Trev Alberts, said, "He has the passion and understanding of what it means to be a Maverick, and he has the ability to institute the kind of structure and attention to detail that will allow us to be successful in college hockey's toughest conference." Gabinet was a key player for UNO as a student athlete and came back to the Mavericks as a coach in 2016 after a successful coaching career in Canada.
Rock climbing has been a popular sport for several years. However, in Nebraska, there aren't many mountains to climb. Bouldering is a sport that has gained a lot of popularity over the country over the past couple years. If you're looking for a new fun way to stay fit, bouldering may be for you. Bouldering is a sport that has become very popular over the last couple years. It's similar to rock climbing but does not require any ropes or harnesses. The sport has become so popular that it will be featured in the 2020 Olympics. Part of the increase in interest of rock climbing comes from places like UNO, who has rock climbing facilities available indoors. Mark Powell, who frequents the UNO climbing gym, explains why he thinks it has become so popular.
Well, there's a lot more gyms for rock climbing, and it's not just for people building strength to climb outside. People climb indoors now because it's fun, and there's a lot of stuff that they can do, and it's not just like tiny little holds that are painfully sharp.
Curtis Kratz, who has been bouldering for several years, explains why it's different than other sports.
Me personally, I definitely, as a soccer player, have had more development in my leg muscles, so jumping into rock climbing, I definitely have had to develop muscles I hadn't used before.
Omaha currently has 2 rock climbing gyms, both of which have specific areas for bouldering. One gym is located at UNO, and the other is located on 72nd and L.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha's Maverick Maniacs have been voted top student section in the nation. The Maverick Maniacs beat out more than 1,000 universities across the nation to secure this honor, including the Iron In section at UNO's sister school, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. UNO Director of Student Involvement Bill Pickett said, "We have built spirit from the ground up. Making the Frozen Four a couple years ago changed our campus. It lit a spark that got students excited, and they realized that we could do anything. Since that day, we have continued to build." Coming up next, one hit Broadway show could be coming to Omaha next season.
And pilots are obviously an important part of the multi-billion-dollar airline industry. But what if there is a shortage of men and women who have what it takes to get their wings? More after this.
UNO TV invites you to take a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city. Or just explore our state. Find out about Nebraska in World War II. Learn how Omaha has grown since. Discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402-554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
The hit Broadway show Hamilton the Musical will hit the Omaha stage in the 2018-2019 Omaha Performing Arts season. Hamilton is a musical about the life of founding father Alexander Hamilton. The show was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda and inspired a 2004 biography by Ron Chamau. Hamilton will have showings at the Orpheum Theater downtown, and a news release from Omaha Performing Arts says the season ticket holders will get first access. No dates or other ticket information will be released until closer to performance season.
The Equestrian World Championship may join the prestigious list of sporting events held annually in Omaha. The championship was held last week at the CenturyLink Center in downtown Omaha, and the event drew high praise from the committee that chose to host. John Roach, World Cup Director for the Equestrian Sport Governing Body, said Omaha pulled off a top-class event and said Omaha would be very competitive if it made another bid for the World Cup. Events such as the Baseball College World Series, the Olympic Swim Trials, and the Web.com PGA Golf Tournament are just a few of the major sporting events hosted in Omaha.
Lack of pilots is a topic of discussion for the aviation industry since there is a forecasted 35,000 pilot shortage through 2031. Reporter Jose Rodriguez takes a closer look at our next generation of pilots coming out of the Omaha area and what it will take for them to reach their goals.
Even though the aviation industry is expecting a pilot shortage due to factors like captains reaching their mandatory retirement age of 65 and higher pilot training costs, there are young students that most likely will take advantage of this situation while pursuing their dreams.
Ever since I was a child, I always go to the beach, and the airport is like right next to the beach, I always see the planes coming and going. I was always fascinated in who's flying it, and I always wanted to be the one.
On top of taking college courses at institutions like UNO's Aviation Institute, students have to master flying a plane in where they find new challenges.
It takes a lot of hard work. You really get to learn a lot about yourself during the process to see how you react in certain situations.
For other students, there are additional challenges to face.
It's been hard because my first language is Spanish, so English is my second language.
The challenge most students face, though, is the flight training cost that pushes students to give extra effort for their passion.
That's the whole reason I'm working 2 jobs, is because I love it so much. I'm working as much as I can to continue pursuing it.
Students get their flight training at facilities like Advancer in Consul Bluffs Airport, where they get the skills they need to obtain their licenses.
I'm hoping by the end of the month to become a full-time flight instructor once I graduate.
For the Omaha News, I'm Jose Rodriguez.
The aviation industry is expected to find solutions for the pilots shortage, including augmenting pay to generate interest in the career and clearer paths to success while reducing training costs. That does it for this edition of the Omaha News. Join us next week for our special State of the City broadcast.
And you can find additional stories on our website, theomahanews.wordpress.com. Also follow the Omaha News on Facebook and Twitter at UNO The Omaha News. For all of us at the Omaha News, thanks for watching.
We'll see you next week.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is a place for tomorrow's leaders, a place where individuals converge on a path to success, getting the attention and direction they need as they begin their career. It's where students take pride in serving Omaha, a city we've invested in for more than 100 years. UNO is a place where greatness begins. The University of Nebraska at Omaha.